people who are in a state of invasion. Welcome back to the Immigration Answers Show. This is episode 883. We'll be here for the next hour and a half. I'm here with my friends Mari and Huli. We are going to be doing what we can to help educate the masses on how things work immigration-wise in the United States. How's everybody doing? How is your week? Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. I can't believe it's Wednesday. I can't believe it's August 5th or 6th, 2025. Hard to believe. What's up? What's going on? Let's go ahead and just get started. What do you think? Sophia, Tokyo, and then TK. Sophia, hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hello.
Hi, go ahead.
Hi, I just had a quick question. Sorry, let me go somewhere quieter. So I've had DACA since I was 16. So nothing there. I've been able to renew. I did advanced parole twice, no problems coming back in. I'm now in the process of trying to adjust my status due to my U.S. citizen husband. We've been married for 2 years now. My question is, when I was 18, I did, along with friends, get caught shoplifting like $20 worth of stuff from Walgreens. I was never arrested or fingerprinted. It was a local, I guess, case. I had to go to the municipal court and just pay a fine of like $100. So my question is, obviously, I'm going to disclose that. Do you think that will negatively affect me? Because I also heard about the petty offense exception.
Have you applied for any DACA renewals since that charge?
Yes, I've done like 6 of them.
You've always disclosed that one?
Yes, I've always disclosed it. I always put no arrest, just fine. I include paperwork, and I've always gotten it approved.
If USCIS were to ask you for some evidence that you're a good person, that you're not a serial shoplifter, and that you help other people, what evidence would you be able to submit?
I could do like a FBI background check. Nothing comes up. I already done it. It's all
No.
clear.
That's not what I'm talking about. Let's say that they give you a minus for the shoplifting charge, okay?
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to find out what pluses could we put in there. Like, do you help any old ladies? Do you volunteer? Do you work at a hospital? Or, you know what I mean? Like, what are some things in the
I
plus?
work at a hospital as a nurse, so I could include that.
That's great. Maybe some letters from people saying that you're a good person. What about how did you enter the United States?
I've entered without, like I guess, illegally when I was 2 years old by my parents.
And have you gotten advanced parole through DACA?
Yes, I've done it twice.
And you've left and come back.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Good. Yeah, go ahead and file. Get that thing. I mean, you guys have been married 2 years. Were you waiting because of this?
Yeah, mainly just like getting the money for it, and also just I know like my DACA gets approved, and I've had it since 2016, 2017.
But you also know there's a terrible man in the White House who wants to do away with that.
I know, which is why I'm kind of scared of like doing it, because I know I do have this record, so it's just been like hesitant to do it.
It would have been better to do when Biden was here, but let's get that thing on file. Come on, don't be wasting time.
Okay, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Bye, Sophia.
Thanks.
Robert's right. He said, DACA marriage cases with advanced parole are Jim's favorite, along with lawsuits. That's exactly right. And Orez says, hey, thanks for your videos. I got my green card without any problems. That's great, Orez. We're happy for you. All right, let's go to Tokyo. Hello, Tokyo.
Hello, Jim. I'm going to call you Tio Jim. How are you?
It's great.
I want to say, I just came really quickly to say thank you because I got my green card approved thanks to all of your videos and the interview videos that you have. And I love Amani officer. She is my favorite officer.
Yeah, was your officer meaner or nicer than Amani?
No. No, he was super nice. Like our interview was like 10 minutes. Really, thanks to you, I had 6 pounds worth of evidence that I sent. So every single paper that I could think of, my husband was like, babe, do we really need this? Yes. So I sent every single thing I could. And I got adjusted from TPS to to the green card. Though I wasn't paroled in though, but I did get adjusted from the TPS. I hear you say that sometimes to people that you don't know if it works or not. It worked with me. So
can you give us your timeline on the green card case?
Yes, I sent the application on February 28th and got the approval. I got the interview on May 19th. And I got the approval on July 29th. So 5 months.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for the call. We're really happy for you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Have a good day.
Oh, we like that good news. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. We like that good news. All right. 6 pounds of evidence. That's what I'm trying to say. Lexi is here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. I'm here to talk about my husband and his situation.
Okay.
He has a upcoming appointment with ICE. It's a check-in next week. So I was wanting to just hear your thoughts, if you had any information about these appointments in St. Louis, what's going on. A little bit about his situation. We recently got married, and I just filed the I-130. The receipt came in the mail a few weeks ago, but we're pretty worried about his situation, if he can be detained at this appointment, because he has been here less than 2 years, and he met immigration at the Mexican border. They gave him an I-file number, and he is labeled, I guess as you would say, EWI, so entered without inspection.
Yep.
So if you could just share, like, for someone in his situation, what you think would likely happen at this appointment.
So what's happened so far so when did he enter? Did he get detained? Does he have a court date? What's the purpose of the check-in?
This is his second check-in. He had one last year. He has a court date with an immigration judge in 2027.
And that's because he made a credible fear argument and said he needs asylum in the United States?
No, he did not claim asylum because he's from Costa Rica, and
Okay.
there's no reason for him to claim that.
So why did he come across the border?
To come here for work.
Okay, so he shows up at the border. They mark him as an iwi. They detain him for a while, I would assume.
I think they just had him for a little bit, released him. He had a family here, a relative here, so he was able to live with him for a while. But he's just had one check-in with ICE before, and that was before Trump came into office. So it things were a little different back then. So right now we're just wondering what to expect at this ICE
And
check-in.
the date of his entry is what?
It would have been October of 2023.
And when's the check-in?
Next week.
I believe that there are probably some things we should talk about, not on camera, or you should talk to a deportation attorney. Maybe call my friend Raymond Borlucci. I think you might want to be a little creative in how you handle all that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
But I think there's a high chance that he gets taken into custody and deported if he shows up before our 2 years.
Okay, so having less than 2 years here,
He's subject to expedited removal under the way they're interpreting things. Mm-hmm.
So bringing any sort of marriage license or the receipt that we filed, that does not matter.
No, in fact, they put out a new memo the other day that if people show up at USCIS for like an I-130 petition and they're not immediately adjustable and they're out of status, that they will get put into removal.
Okay.
So I think if he shows up for his hearing, or not his hearing, for his check-in, I think it's very likely he gets taken into custody and deported back to Costa Rica.
Okay, and then if he does not go, what are the consequences of that?
Then they could come find him and do the same thing.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your advice.
Thank you, Lexi. Sorry I couldn't help. Yep. All right. It's a big holiday in Jamaica, says our friend Donna. She's our foreign correspondent in Jamaica. It's Independence Day, so big ups to all the Yardies. Everyone's saying Happy Independence Day. Janet says hello. All right. Let's go to Katerina. Hello.
Hey Jim, how you doing?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. So I was wondering if you could give me some advice.
Sure.
So I currently have a conditional green card. As of January, then I'll be able to remove my conditions, but I still have a process until I become a citizen. The situation is that I have my parents who are not in status living here in the US. They've been here 24 years.
Yeah.
And so they're kind of considering maybe moving back to our original country. They don't know if they should stay and wait it out. What do you think?
So the question is, Jim, do you think that longtime visa overstays who have a daughter who may become a citizen sometime in the next year and a half should stay in the United States or leave? Would they like to stay in the United States?
They would like to stay, yeah. I think that they're just scared because there's a lot of,
I understand.
Yeah,
Sure.
it's been difficult.
Sure. So, I mean, all I can do is say that if they leave, they have a 10-year bar on coming back, right? So,
Right.
And did they come on a visa and overstay, or did they?
Yes.
Yeah. So.
And so did I. So I was a baby when they brought me, so it was the same situation. But we all came on visas and overstayed.
And then, so you married a U.S. citizen, and you have your conditional green card.
Yes.
That's not the kind of a question that I can really answer for them, right?
Yeah.
So all I can do is sort of lay it out there. If they get taken into custody, if they've been here for 24 years, it seems to me, and they can establish that they've been here for 24 years, there are some defenses that would be available to them.
Mm-hmm.
One is called non-LPR cancellation of removal. So, they shouldn't be treated like people who just came across the border. They should be given due process. They should get to see a judge. And even if you don't become a citizen, well, I guess the problem for them is they don't have a qualifying relative. I don't suppose their parents are here in the United States, right?
No, they're not.
Yeah, so they couldn't get cancellation. So I guess the question is, if mom and dad get taken into custody or get served with a notice to appear in court, are they going to get taken into custody, and are they going to be able to stay here in the United States? And that's, I mean, in theory, if they have no criminal stuff, they should be able to bond out. They've been here a long time. And there is a path. And do I think they could deport them before a year and a half is up, before you become a citizen? I think they might try, but I don't know that they could.
And so what about, I also have two younger siblings that are U.S. citizens. They're just not close to being 21. Does that help their case in any way?
Let me check something real quick. Yes. So if they are, actually, all three of you can help them. Yeah. So if mom or dad got caught and put into custody, they could do cancellation, because for 42B cancellation, a child can be a qualifying relative.
Okay.
So if they're U.S. citizens and we could show hardship to them or to you as a green card holder, it has to be more hardship than other people. So if one of your siblings has like some kind of a health reason or some other reason they can't go back to the old country, then I would say it'd be very, very hard for me to recommend to mom and dad that they leave. Scary as that is, it'd be hard for me to recommend that, other than to tell them to I can't tell people to like break the law and stuff. So
right. Well, I've been trying to convince them to stay. I think that we're closer now than we've ever been. So
I think there's a lot of things in your parents' favor, and I think that if they were treated relatively fairly, like not even fairly, but almost fairly, I think they have a good shot of staying here.
okay. And so then I have another question. I have an older sister who is currently married to a U.S. citizen, but they are separated and talking about divorce. They have two children together. The U.S. citizen is no longer interested in helping her get a green card.
And they haven't started?
They did start, but they had some financial hardships. They had to sell their house. It's been like a long, dragged out thing.
Yeah.
They've been married for 7 years already. It just didn't go anywhere.
Wow.
And so what do you what's your take on that one?
So thank you for your call today, because I don't know how long you've watched this show, but I talk about how I used to help my wife write up immigration law exam questions. Like we would give them a big fact pattern. So Katerina is a lawful permanent resident. She's waiting to get her conditions removed, and she could apply for citizenship. Mom and dad are in the United States. They've been out of status for 24 years. There's two little siblings that could also qualify. And then there's this sister who's married to a U.S. citizen, right? Like you gave me like a perfect fact pattern if I'm still doing that. In answer to your question, let me answer it for you this way. I think it'll clarify things. So I was once at an interview at USCIS in Chicago, and everything was done pretty much. And actually it was a U.S. citizen filing for his dad. And the officer said, last question was, hey, Joey, his name wasn't Joey, but we'll just pretend, hey, Joey, do you still want to sponsor this guy? And Joey, of course, said, yeah, sure. I want him to get his green card. So the officer approved the case and all is well. And I said to the officer, that's a weird question. Has anyone ever said no? And he said, actually, once the U.S. citizen said she didn't want to sponsor her spouse anymore, like right there at the in front of the spouse. And so that officer told us that he could still approve the application because that couple, it was a valid marriage at the time they entered into it, and and the U.S. citizen had not formally withdrawn the I-130. So if the U.S. citizen spouse for your sister, they have all the power in a situation like this. If
Right.
they, like, let's say that they had their green card interview, that they didn't wait 7 years to file for their immigration shit, that they had their interview and the USCIS was about to approve the green card, and then the husband withdrew it a week before they approved it, that's as if that case was never filed. So your sister's in a very, very vulnerable position in that at this particular moment, her spouse has all the power.
Yeah.
So if they withdraw it, it's bad for two reasons. One is your sister isn't going to get a benefit based on that marriage, and two, they now know where she is.
Right. Well, I think so her her application process, I guess, was a little bit different than mine. I filed my petitions all together and I sent them in the mail, but when she did it with the lawyer, I believe that they only filed the I-130 for her and the I-130A.
Is her spouse a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
That was dumb.
Yeah, it was.
Has that been?
Sorry.
Has the I-130 been approved?
That's the thing. I don't know if they ever got a formal approval for it. I just know that the lawyer then came back and asked for her to get a physical done so that they can send it in the mail.
The 45. Did they file the 45?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, so
I think that,
she's got nothing.
yeah. Would it help if I requested her a FOIA and like tried to help her move the case forward, or
Well, I mean, if the marriage is over, then moving forward with the case is problematic because that brings you up against immigration fraud, right?
yeah. Okay. Well, I was just wondering if, maybe if he wrote something in support of her, like saying that it was a legit marriage once upon a time, but
Well, if he'll go to the interview and do it and not withdraw it, that might work unless they get
Mhm.
divorced. But that's
unless they get divorced.
yeah, if they get divorced, it's over.
Okay.
Thanks, Katerina.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, that was a good call. Covered lots of topics. Over on TikTok, it says, I get denied in my asylum case, but they give me 30 days to appeal. I married a U.S. citizen. Interesting. You might want to file an I-130 petition. Of course, you'd want to know, how did you enter the United States? Please, can someone with an approved asylum case apply for a green card now? Yes, of course, they can and they should. Whether it's going to be processed or not, it's a different question. So I'm going to go to Alex, then Rahul, then Tilly. Alex, hello.
Hi, Jim.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Great.
So, my now wife and I met almost 3 years ago in the States. I'm a U.S. citizen. She's a Costa Rican citizen. We were at a wedding. We were both attending, and we met there. And soon thereafter, we conceived a child who was birthed in Costa Rica. So she's the little baby is now 2. We've been together for 2 years, and we've been living in Costa Rica for the past 2 years, and all together. And now we're up in the United States now, and we got married a month ago after having been in the States on this trip for about 5 weeks. And we had initially intended to apply for my wife's green card back in Costa Rica and wait it out down there. And now we're kind of maybe having a bit of a change of heart and looking for to perform the adjustment of status. But we're a little concerned that we got married soon after entering the country under her tourist visa.
Why did you do that?
It was because we did that. We got married so soon because we were originally intending to go back to Costa Rica at the end of our 2-month stay, because my wife really wanted to get married in New York City and and take the photos and do the whole thing. So that was sort of we got married soon after our arrival because we were planning on filing through the U.S. Embassy in Costa Rica, and now
How could we prove that?
How could we prove that we got married so soon after arrival, but we're intending to go back to Costa Rica to? We had flights booked. We had talked with an attorney beforehand who recommended that was the safer path, was just to go ahead and apply from Costa Rica, although it may take a little longer. And now we're hearing, that there's these, it's being approved much more quickly from the U.S. and we'll kind of fall in love with the place, I guess, a little more quickly than had been anticipated. We've traveled to the U.S. Under her tourist visa, and the baby's a U.S. citizen.
Has your spouse ever been here before?
Yes, she's been here many times before we met, and 4 times since we've met. She lived here for a little while.
Never overstayed.
But she never overstayed her visa.
How many times on the current visa has she entered the United States?
6, about.
I'd be comfortable talking to you guys and working on this case and filing it here. It's going to take the central issue will be immigrant intent and whether she tricked them into giving her a visit visa. But if she's entered 6 times before, and we can prove that she was sort of clueless about the rule of getting married too quickly, and that her intention was to go back. If we can prove up that either she had a job in Costa Rica or you guys kept shit there, and it was your intention, that's an approvable case. It's going to be tricky, but it's approvable.
And for how long do we have to wait here?
Yeah, how long do we, now she has of course they have a 6-month visa. When's the ideal time for us to if we choose to do that, to go through with that? How long do you recommend us being here? We came here at the end of May, or maybe the May 20th, I believe.
So you're beyond 60 days
We're beyond 60 days now
of arrival. You're beyond.
We are.
Yeah. So you're within the time period where you could do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. And then, as far as building evidence, is there more incentive for us to stay a little longer? Because we like I said, we have been living in Costa Rica. We haven't really built the U.S. evidence base. I guess that's something we discussed with you further.
Well, the marriage stuff. I mean, you have a kid together. You've been together a long time. They understand that when a couple gets married in the United States and the non-citizen doesn't have a social security number, might not have all that other stuff, but you have a long history together and you have a believable story and you have a kid. So I don't think the issue in this case, I mean, obviously you're going to have to prove up the marriage, but I don't think that's going to be the central issue of the case. The central issue of the case is going to be what was your wife's intention when she entered the United States.
Sure. All right. And that's something we could discuss further.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, Jim.
Bye, buddy.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, I could hear the old side character next door. We always like that. All right, that was Alex. We're going to go to Rahul, Tilly, and Matt. Rahul, hello.
Hey, hi, Jim. Firstly, thanks for taking my call.
Oh, you got to fix the audio, brother. I want to put you back in time. Oh, I don't know what that'll give me a seizure. I got Tilly, Matt, and Jessica. Rahul, go fix your audio. Hello, Tilly.
Hello, James. Thanks for having me.
Sure.
Yes, so I have an issue I need advice on. I came here on an M2 visa in 2023, and then I had some issues with my husband, and we divorced in 2024, July. And then this year, I applied for a school, got admission, and I changed to F1.
From an M2 to an F1.
Yes, please.
Okay.
So after my divorce, I started dating someone else, and he proposed in May, and we got married in June. I really wanted to go to the school, so I requested to defer my program start date till next year, which was approved. Now, the person I'm married to, he's a U.S. citizen. He wants to petition for me, but after marriage, I found out that he has some criminal records, and I don't know how that will impact if he puts in the application. Now, my F1 status, the school, I think apparently my department did not communicate with the ISO, the International Student Office, that I had deferred. So it was just some few days ago I reached out to my DSO asking if I would need a new I-20 and how to go about it. And then he's telling me that if I don't enroll next month, which is the start date for the program, I would have to leave. He's going to terminate the F1 in the service, and I would have to leave after 15 days. So I just wanted some advice. The U.S. citizen wants to petition for me, but he has this criminal history of drugs and all that, and I don't know how that will impact the application should he petition.
So, how recent are the criminal charges?
One was in 98 for distribution and possession of CDS, and then which he was jailed for 3.5 years. And there was another one in 2007. He said he was put on probation. And then in 2015, he said he had an issue with someone. There was an assault put on him, and he had a probation of 1 year for that. Those are the records.
Well, how was it that you found out about this after the marriage?
So I knew about the 98 one. He told me during the courtship, but after marriage, I was booking a place for us to go with how do you call it, Airbnb.
Yeah.
And then I had an email. I used my account, but then I put his details. And then I had an email from Airbnb that my account had been closed because of a criminal background history they ran, and that was where I got to know about the others.
And what did he say?
He admitted to it, but he said, I mean, it was in the.
Oh, did we lose Tilly? Tilly, are you there? I think we lost old Tilly. I don't think she's on mute. I think she got a call or something. Let's bump her down and then I'll pull Matt up. Matt, hello.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm well. How are you, Matt?
Good. Thank you for your time. So my question is in regards to a green card situation with a divorce. So my ex and I recently, our divorce was recently finalized, and I was her green card sponsor. And in the divorce case, there was no alimony awarded because we both make the same amount of money and we both have 50-50 custody of the children. But she's now stating that she's going to sue me due to the affidavit of support. She does have a job that is, her income is above the poverty guideline for the poverty guidelines. So I know just by doing some research that what I would be liable for is to keep her at 125% of that guideline, if I'm correct. Does she have any kind of case to pursue with that?
I don't know. There's a lawyer who, quote unquote, specializes in these kinds of lawsuits. I would imagine she's probably hired that attorney.
Okay.
But that's not something I ever get involved in. I've never had anyone sue to enforce the affidavit of support, so I actually don't know the answer to your question.
Oh, wow. Okay. So is it a pretty rare thing?
I think it's all a pretty rare thing, except for this lawyer that does it, if that makes sense.
Okay. Do you know that person's name?
I don't.
Okay.
If you email me, though, I can look it up and send it to you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I mean, everything that I see online says that the liability or the support, it's not like it's unending support. It's basically for this certain amount, and that
it's probably either 11 years until she becomes a citizen.
Yeah.
Or one of those two things.
Yeah, it's basically 10 years of working or until she becomes a citizen. Yeah. But, again, only at the poverty guideline levels. So, even if they counted all our kids for a household of 4, it's like 38,000.
I thought it's more based, and remember, again, I don't do this. I seem to recall that attorney sort of touting the ability to keep you at the level that you've been at or expected to be at, not the poverty guidelines. But I've never had anyone ask me that question you're asking, so I'm not for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah, I've not seen that, but yeah, I mean, so do you have any recommendations about who I should talk to? I mean, she's not sued me yet. It's just a threat.
I would talk to my divorce attorney.
The divorce attorney who did the divorce. Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
See you, buddy. A lot of interesting questions on today's show. This is the Immigration Answer Show. I'm Jim Hacking. We'll be here for another hour. We're going to go back see if Tilly's here. Hello, Tilly. Did you get your audio fixed?
Yes. Hello, Jim. Sorry about that.
No worries. So are you asking me, Tilly, Jim, do you think this green card case can be approved? Is that what you want to know?
Yes, please.
I think this marriage case can be approved. I think it's, the last conviction was 10 years ago. I mean, would you say that your husband is sort of a reformed person?
Yes, he is.
He's not doing anything dumb or illegal right now?
No.
So I think that I would certainly be comfortable handling this case. If I were the lawyer, I'd probably do a fingerprint and FBI background check on your husband to make sure that there's nothing else out there. Because really, to me, the big issue isn't so much the old convictions. It's the fact that you didn't necessarily know about them at the time you got married, or two of the three of them. So I think that, I would sort of, if you were consulting with me and your husband, I would sort of come after your husband and sort of give him a hard time and see how he holds up, if that makes sense. Oh, I think we lost our audio again. All right, that's it for Tilly. Let's go to Jessica, then JV, then Julia or Julia. We got some J's in the house because then we got Kenny. Oh, okay, that's it. All right. Jessica, hello.
Hi, Jim. How are you doing?
Great. How are you doing?
Doing better than I was last time I called in. But
tell me. Refresh my recollection.
I'll give you accurate details because last time I called in, I didn't have the full picture, and now I have more information, which is why I'm calling, just to get your perspective on things. So I requested my husband through adjustment of status. We got married this year in February, and we just got a notice a few weeks back that our interview is like in a week. So it's very soon. We were surprised. We were expecting to wait longer, but with everything that you've been mentioning, things are speeding up very quickly.
Yep.
Just to give you some background on his case, he handed himself in at the border. He came in through Texas from Mexico, and he requested asylum with his credible fear case.
Yeah.
It was denied while he was in the detention. He was there for like 9 months.
Yeah.
And he's not really clear on what happened with that case. Like they were holding him, trying to make him sign papers. He didn't. And then they let him go on order of supervision.
Uh-huh.
He's been out on that for, I want to say 3 years now.
Uh-huh.
And then our lawyer had recommended to request the TPS when that was approved for like his year. So he qualified for that one that was just terminated recently in April.
Okay.
Approved in January. We got married in February. Then we submitted our adjustment of status in March. It got denied because the forms were updated, and then we sent it again. And I think that went through in May. So my concern is, like, I don't know if the I-94 from the TPS counts as a legal entry for him since he entered at the border. Like, I don't know if that counts as inspection or not.
So how many times has he ever entered the United States in total?
The one time.
So the TPS would have been granted after he was physically in the United States.
Yeah, he was here already. They granted it.
Okay. So what does the I-94 that he got from ICE say?
Well, it's with the TPS. It doesn't really have much information, but it just has the date.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you going to this interview with an attorney or without an attorney?
So we've spoken to the attorney that's been helping us through all of this. He feels like there's no concern for us because he's like, you guys have evidence. You shouldn't be worried. It's a true marriage. Like, you can go on your own. But I'm really nervous. I kind of want to force him to go with us, but I don't know if they're just trying to bring him in to like detain him now that he doesn't have the TPS protection.
I think there's a significant chance of that.
Right? Because he's from Venezuela too. And that's like
so high on their list of who they're after.
Exactly. And to add to that, on top of that, he did not go to his last ICE presentation because he had one in April and then they set one up like a month later in March, like when the TPS was meant to be canceled. And he didn't go because the lawyer told us not to go to that presentation. And also his work permit has expired, but he's still working. So I'm concerned with all these things.
So I would make an appointment tomorrow.
Okay.
When is this interview? In 2 weeks?
On the 18th.
I would make an interview tomorrow with the best deportation attorney in your town.
Okay.
And bring all of your paperwork to that attorney and ask them what you should do.
Okay. It's a tricky case, right? Like if we go to the interview.
I think there's a significant chance he's going to get detained.
Okay. Yeah, that makes me so nervous. I don't want that to happen.
Of course. But the trick is you need the I-130 approved in order to give him any chance at relief.
Yeah.
Did your husband applied for, or you applied for the I-130 and got married after he was in removal proceedings?
Yeah, he was in removal proceedings. Like I said, that was back in 2021.
Well, he's still in removal proceedings.
So, yeah, because he's on the supervision, right? So he's technically still in removal.
So what I'm saying is that when someone is in removal and they get married to a U.S. citizen and they file an I-130 petition, that they have to show by clear and convincing evidence that it's a real marriage. So most people have to prove that their marriage was valid and not for immigration purposes by a preponderance of the evidence, which is like 51 to 49.
Okay.
You have to prove it at a clear and convincing standard, which is more like 65, 70. And importantly, you have to formally request USCIS to make a bona fide determination that it's a real marriage. So there's actually a request you have to make in your I-130 submission or at your interview to get them to ignore the fact that he filed for marriage benefits while in removal. Does that make sense? Do you know if you did that?
I don't know if they did that.
Does your lawyer do things other than immigration?
No, he's an immigration lawyer, which is like he started working with his case while he was in the detention. And when he was going to take over, that's when they let him go under supervision. So he kind of didn't action anything since then till we did the TPS and now the adjustment of status.
I can't get my mind around the suggestion that you go to this interview without a lawyer. It blows my mind.
Yeah, that's what we're really concerned about. Like, I kind of want to force him, but I don't know if he's going to do much for us while we're there.
I don't know that anyone can force lawyers to do things. But if it's in your contract and it says that he would, then that's a different thing. But
yeah, it's not cheap either.
I know. Thanks, Jessica. Thanks for the call.
Thank you so much, Jim. Have a good day.
Yeah, for sure. From Jessica to JV, then to Jordan. Hello, JV. JV, are you there? Paging JV. Our phone number here, if you need it, is just 1 second, JV. People on TikTok are asking. Phone number 314-961-8200. 314-961-8200. Yes, JV, how can I help you?
Yes, so I am naturalized citizen since 6 years ago. I filed a petition to my wife, a green card, which was approved a year ago. She had a previous arrest for a misdemeanor. It was resist arrest without violence.
Without?
without violence.
Uh-huh.
So the this case didn't go to the court, and they dropped the charges, and the disposition was no action. So my question is, even though we went to other countries in the past, in last year, and with this administration, we didn't have any problem when we came back. But now we are trying to go to Canada to cross with a car. Do you think we're gonna have problems coming back?
I don't think green card holders should leave the United States until they become a citizen.
Okay.
That's what I'm telling everybody.
So it's a high risk of being
I would say it's a low risk, but it's a risk. And I'm very conservative on that. So I would say that unless it's an emergency, life or death, I would not leave until I become a citizen. If it's just to go visit Canada and drive across the bridge, I think that's a silly risk. If it's my mother is dying in Toronto and I need to get to Canada tomorrow, I know that it's a risk. I have a green card, but I've got this conviction. Would you go or not? Right. So my answer
it was not like a conviction. It was
okay.
They dropped the charges, and so I know it's a record, but
I know. But you want me to say it's okay? I'm not going to say that it's okay.
No.
I'm sticking to my guns, and I believe that unless there's a very good reason to drive across the bridge and go to Canada, I would stay here. What if she's not allowed back in the United States? What happens?
Yeah, I know. We're gonna have to fight that through.
Let's say it's a half of 1% chance, but it is a chance. And if it's just to do sightseeing in Canada, I would say go to Montana or go to Washington State or go to Colorado. Just wait.
Okay.
All right. Does she have her green card?
All right. Thank you, Jim. Yeah, she had the green card, and it was for 10. I mean, it is for 10 years, so it's the full one.
I would wait. Thanks, JV. All right. Apparently, LinkedIn's having some kind of issues. Nobody really cares. Jordan is here. Hello.
Hi, Jim. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Okay. So my wife, so we're here like this year for so my wife is the primary as an H1B visa holder, and I'm an H4 as a support, or like the support for her. So now, because the employer is very good to us, or at least her boss, so they started already the green card process. So the problem that we have right now is that on the prevailing wage determination, because she's working for a local county, it went up so high, about like 40% of her current salary. So since she's working for the government, or the county, there's like strict gaps in terms of that salary.
Sure.
In terms of like what that's supposed, because she works in the IT field, so it's like more than actual private. So the question that we have, or like the struggle, because the challenge that we have is we don't have like kind of that direct discussion with the attorneys that the county is providing. So it's like us to the boss, and then to the lawyers, and then if there's anything
Sure.
that they need, they just ask us for that. But like kind of strategy, and it's still with the employer. So if you have any, what's kind of like your suggestion, if, because there's already a talk between her and the boss that they couldn't pay the salary, but there's still, or at least the boss is willing to help out to go through that process. So it's either they say we sit it out till we go through the EB3 or the last day, I don't know like what yet. But they're just saying that let's wait out the recruitment process for now and then proceed from there. But if you're handling our case, what's kind of like a good strategy or good questions to ask to move this forward?
I appreciate that. So, what is the position with the county?
They couldn't pay the PWD salary. So
No,
because
no, I get that. I get that. What's the job? I'm sorry. What's the position? The job.
oh, it's an IT analyst.
Okay, so just to make life easy for both of us, your wife is currently making $100,000,
Correct.
and the prevailing wage came back from the Department of Labor and said the salary should be $140,000.
Yes.
And
That's
then,
an example. Yeah.
as an example, yeah. And then your wife's boss says, "Hey, Jordan's wife, we can't pay 140,000. We can only pay 100, which is why we only pay you 100."
Correct.
And there's rule. Well, to me, this sounds like a case that isn't going to work.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know why anybody's wasting their time continuing.
Okay. So, what do you think is a strategy for us since we're already here invested
Well,
in
how far
terms
into her H1B is she?
just new. So we're like here 10 months now.
She's here 10 months on her first H1B.
Yes.
Okay, brother. I know it's tough right now to find jobs in the IT field. I think it depends on what your qualifications are.
Mm-hmm.
But if she has good qualifications, she's very, very valuable to potential employers because she's already counted against the cap for the H1B, right?
Yeah.
So I would think that other employers would love to get someone who has 5 years of H1B eligibility left. And if it's a private company, they're going to be able to pay whatever they want, right? They're not going to be stuck with those same restrictions that the county that she currently works for has, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'm saying is I would focus my time, I would give up on this thing. I would go find myself a new H1B job. And during those discussions, I'd be talking about getting my green card process started within 6 months of coming. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. So in terms of at least for me, because the ultimate target was at least just to have some relief financially, and the target was like, I think 8 months in. If the process went well, I can get my EAD. What's now the option for me to at least have some sort of work? Is at least, is it still like kind of look for a sponsor as well to do that, or
What's wrong
as,
with
as
what's wrong with your EAD? You haven't gotten it yet? Is that what you mean?
no, I don't have because I'm still H4 and we're still in the PW. Can I still? So that's a like a question. Can I get it now, even if we're still in that PWD process, or not
I,
even initiated perm?
I don't remember. I haven't looked at it in a while. I would have to look that up. But I wanted to get back to one other thing.
Yeah.
You know how you said the employer and or their lawyers said, well, let's just keep going and see what happens when we do our good faith recruitment to see what we get, right?
Yeah.
Now, on the one hand, they might be saying, well, maybe her boss is saying to themselves, well, if we get a bunch of crappy jobs and I can show that there aren't any Americans or green card holders who can do her job, then maybe the county will go to bat and give her that raise from 100 to 140. That's one thing that might be going on in their mind. But I think what's probably going on in their mind is we know this green card case is not going to work because we know that the city council or whoever will never be able to boost her salary by
Correct.
40%. Let's just keep dangling that promise of the green card in front of her because we like her and she's doing a good job, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's probably what's going on. So I wouldn't necessarily trust these people. I'm not saying they're
Mm-hmm.
bad people. I'm just saying that I just don't think it's going to work.
Yeah. But how about the reappealing of the labor assessment, or like that salary determination? Is it worth pursuing?
I would say, yeah, go ahead. And I would be looking for a new job with a new employer.
Oh, okay. Because that's like kind of the thing that I'm like wondering on, if quote unquote the lawyer or the strategy is like kind of make it right. Because if we go about, because like digging this deep, at least on the salary levels across the state and stuff, it's actually because it's open public record, right? Like salary across. So if
DOL,
with
DL does make mistakes, and they do change their minds sometimes. If like I would say, I mean, you have to understand that those 5 years she has left of H1B is really going to be attractive.
Okay.
And I think that she's much more valuable than she's probably giving herself credit for right now. And I just think that 40% is a really big gap. You're not talking a $4,000 raise. You're talking a $40,000 or an $80,000 raise. You know what I mean?
Okay, if I'm not like taking too much of that, is the transfer of that H1B process complex or
No. It's
okay?
so it's pretty much the same process. It's just that they can do it any time of year, and they don't have to do it in the lottery. She's already counted in the lottery, so so it's just a matter of filing a new LCA, getting the I-129 on file, and then she can actually start when they get the receipt notice back for the H1B transfer. But she might want to wait and see how this plays out. But I would just be upfront with employers and say, look, I have an H1B. I need to transfer it. I need green card sponsorship. These people that I'm working for, I like them very much, but I don't have a long-term future here because they're not going to be able to pay my salary.
Okay. Do we still need to involve like the old lawyers or new lawyers or the existing lawyers? Let's say if we get a new employer.
Well, the new employer would be the ones to hire the attorneys to handle your wife's transfer.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be you. It wouldn't be the current employer's lawyers. It'd be the new lawyer.
Okay. And then can I ask one more question? That I think last one. Okay. For me as an H4 right now, what options are you seeing at least for me to at least get some work if this drags on and continue
Remember that before Obama, H4s could never work, right? And so the default is to assume that H4s can't work, and the government wants it that way. They don't want H4s to be able to work. So if you want to work, and there's no approved I-140 yet because you're still at the prevailing wage stage. The only answer would be the one that you raised, which was for you to file for your own H1B in next year's lottery, right?
Okay. All right, Jim. Appreciate it, and thanks for everything you do to all the people here.
You got it,
Appreciate you guys. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, let's go to Cam. We haven't done Julia yet, have we? Did we do Julia, Julie? No. I'm gonna go to Cam, then I'm gonna go to Julia, then I'm gonna go to Julia, then I'm gonna go to Kenny. Cam, hello.
Hi, hello. Are you hearing me?
Yeah.
So, I have a question regarding my family. So she came across the border in August of 2022. She was held for a month in detention centers. Then she got released. She did the asylum in 2023. Within the 1 year period, she got her work permit and her social and stuff like that. She has been reporting to ICE offices within her area. She haven't seen an immigration officer. However, she just recently married to a military officer, and she was just wondering what to expect, because coming next year, August, she has an unnoticed to appear. So
2026.
Yeah.
She's married to a U.S. citizen.
Yeah, in the military.
She and her spouse should go talk to an attorney or call our office and see if there's a way to get her a green card based on marriage and parole in place, absent and before the asylum case gets heard in immigration court next year.
Okay, so just let her give your office a call.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Cam. See ya. All right, we'll go to Julia, then Kenny. Julia, hello.
Hi. So my name is Julia.
Oh, sorry.
I have a question about family immigration. So the husband is a green card holder, and he filed the petition 130 for his wife, and the son is a derivative in that petition 130. They filed it in August 2023. So the priority date for them is August 2023. And petition 130 was approved within a month. And they filed 485 for the wife and for the son. And it's been going on, and priority day is not available at the Visa Bulletin. So they're not getting their green card. In the meantime, the son is turning 21. As I understand, he will fall out, age out of 130 petition because he is a derivative. And what will happen to his 485? What will happen to his work authorization? What do we do?
So the petitioner is a U.S. citizen, or
No, green
petitioner,
card. The petitioner is a green card holder.
and
That's
it's
why.
but
Yes,
it's a spouse case, not a parent case.
it's a spouse case because he filed for his wife,
Yeah.
and the son is a derivative. So the
How
son, yeah,
how long has the green card holder had their green card?
only 2 years. So they're not gonna make it. He's not gonna become a citizen.
And how did they get it?
Through his older daughter from a prior marriage.
The I-130, has it been approved?
Yes, it was approved within a month. So it was pending only for 1 month.
Okay, so this is one of those scenarios where, people always call on the show, Julia, and complain that their I-130s are getting approved too slowly. But this is one where it would have been better.
Yes.
Because the longer the I-130 was pending, the more
right
there would be for the son.
Yes.
So the kid's going to age out, and they're not going to have any status.
He came here as a Ukrainian parolee, so he still has his temporary protection status till October 26th. But he has a work authorization through this 485, and I'm wondering what's going to happen to this 485. Will they receive a letter that his 485 is closed? How long can he work with that work authorization?
Well, I would imagine that once mom shows up for her green card interview and that case gets approved, that'll be about the time that USCIS realizes, hey, we've got the son here too. He's out of status, and they would deny his 485, and then the EAD would be terminated at that point, if I had to guess.
But in the meantime, we understand that his 480, he aged out before probably then she would be called for interview, right?
Yes.
So does he have to stop working with that work authorization? That would be illegal, right? If he keeps working with that. The work authorization is good for 5 years, but if he aged out after his 485, would it be prudent to stop working on that work authorization? Should they recall that 485, close his 485 since he aged out? Keep it hanging? What do we do?
Well, I don't know I don't know that I can tell you exactly what to do. I think I think you're identifying the issues. So the question is, let me just say this. I've never heard of anyone notifying USCIS that they aged out. I've never heard that in my whole life. Right?
Right.
So I've never heard of someone with a pending adjustment case and an EAD writing a letter to USCIS saying, please withdraw my 485 because I have now aged out.
Okay. But my concern is if he keeps going on and working with that work authorization, later when he finally, does the process of getting green card, they filed 130 for him separately already.
Well, what process is he going to do that through, though? Like, what? I don't see him having a path right now once he ages out. Like, you think you mean off that application? He's going to have to be in status all the way up until when he files the 485, which is going to be, 10 years from now.
Well, when they realized that it is a possibility that he's gonna age out, they filed another 130 just for him. So the father filed 130. Yes, it will take 9 years, 10 years, whatever years, but in 10 years, would they question that he worked with work authorization that on the aged out 485?
Sure, they might. Yeah.
Would that hurt him in the future?
Yes, it would. But you're not answering my question, which is, how are you going to keep him in status for these 10 years while the new I-130 is pending?
Well, for now, he has temporary protection status.
It's not going to be true for 10 years.
Right. And then I guess he would have to leave the country and continue the process through the visa, get a visa through NVC, through, well, whatever will happen in 10 years.
Right.
But the question is...
So the question is yes. The answer to your question is yes, that would be bad. They might hold that against him.
Right. So in the sense, like, he has his work authorization, but we kind of understand that if he ages out, it's illegal. Right. And if at what point is this gonna become illegal? When he turns 21, or
are you a scientist or something? Because you're being very, very literal. This is a mess. So this is a much messier thing. There's not a precise day that I can declare when the EAD becomes invalid. I can't do that. Maybe it's when he turns 21 plus the time of the month, but I just think you're cutting this way too finely. And I just think that if we think he's aged out and he's worried about working, then he should stop working. And I don't know that I don't think anyone's going to be able to sit down and say, Julia, this is the day. He can't work any more than this. If he works up until this day, it's safe. If he works after that, that's not safe. I don't think there's any way that anyone can predict what a visa officer or a USCIS officer is going to get hung up on 10 years from now.
So what do we do?
So if you think he's aged out, if he's turned 21, then he should stop working probably.
Okay. God. And not to notify USCIS? That would be silly?
I'll just say again, in my whole life, I've never heard of anyone doing that.
All right. Thank you very much.
Yep. Bye-bye. I know I give scientists a bad rap on here, but some people get very literal and very I need to know exactly what's going to happen. But dude, we're in uncharted territory. These are dark days. We're just all trying to make the best of a bad situation. They waited for some reason a giraffe keeps showing up on my... Oh, is somebody giving me that as a gift? Oh, thank you, Fritza. Gave me a giraffe. That's pretty cool. Joseph says, people need to learn to know when to shut up and be quiet. I like what you just said, not necessarily about Julia, but I think that's generally true. I'm going to write that down. People need to learn. I'm going to make a video about this. Oh man, my pen's out. Julia, can you type that for me? People need to learn to know when to shut up and be quiet. How about that? Kenny is here. Hello, Kenny.
Hi, Jim. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, and thanks for everything you do for people around the world. So I have a question. I have my naturalization interview for tomorrow, and while filling out the form, because I filled out the form in March 28th to be precise, and I actually got excited in March 18th. That was 10 days after. So while I was filling out the form, this section 15B that has the question, have you ever been arrested, cited, or detained? Because I've never had any history, because I'm from Nigeria, I've never had any history of citation and everything. I clicked no, because I haven't even I haven't got any mail yet. So I answered no. But after, printing the document and watching your show and everything, I noticed that citation that I got I should have put yes, even though I haven't got the mail. So I have a question now that for me entering no, going to the naturalization interview tomorrow, is that something I should say ahead of time or I should just keep silent till they ask me that question?
No. So my favorite thing on things like this, Kenny. So if you look at my YouTube channel and you look up this word errata sheet, ERRATA, what you'll do is you're gonna type out that question, and then you're gonna write out a new answer, and then you're gonna bring them proof that you paid the ticket before your interview.
Okay, so talking about the tickets, because the officer said I was driving 70 miles, in 65, so I'm 5 over. So, and I contested that, and the officer didn't show up, so the case got moved to September. So
Okay.
right now the case is still pending, and how do I go about that?
So if you had called me before your court date, I would say, Kenny, don't contest it, just pay. And Kenny would have said, Jim, I don't want to pay. My insurance is going to go up. Jim, I don't want to pay. That's a $200 fine. And I would say, Kenny, which is more important, getting your citizenship
Right.
or points on your license or $200?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, I didn't even think about that because I wasn't even worried, at that time about paying, but I just didn't know that. So does that mean that this might affect the interview tomorrow?
It's tomorrow? Shit.
Yes.
They can't naturalize you with an outstanding citation.
Oh. So what if yeah, go ahead, sorry.
You go ahead, brother.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, is it possible to still make the payment today?
Yes, if you can. Yeah. I mean, it depends.
Oh, sorry. I didn't hear you, sorry. Can you hear me?
Sorry, Kenny, give me just 1 second, but we look like Jim is having. We have to scroll back, people.
Okay.
Let's give it a minute and see if he recovers the signal.
Hello.
Oh, here he is.
Yeah.
The scroll attack.
We're having internet problems here today. Thank you, Huli. Kenny.
Yes, sir.
Are you East Coast or West Coast?
West Coast.
So you got 3 hours left.
Yes.
Yeah, bro, go pay that sucker. Go down to court and say, I need to pay that shit. Forget September. I need to get this resolved. I'm naturalizing tomorrow.
Okay. All right. So that's one question. So the second question is the option, talking about the most recent trips outside the US is 5 years because I got my green card in 2020.
Okay.
I filled out all the times that I've traveled, and I'm 100% sure that I filled out even my most recent trip. But while printing out the N400, I didn't see the most recent one, and I could see the ones from 2020, but the most recent one wasn't showing.
Did you file online?
Yes, online.
Yeah, just the officer will probably have it.
Okay.
Just make sure when they ask you to say, hey, when I printed it out, they only printed out 5, and I think there's one more that's more recent. I'm 99% sure I put it on my N400. Just let me know.
Okay, sounds good. A final question. So is it a concern that I've traveled 9 times total and I've never spent, anything above 3 months? The max that I've spent outside is 2 months plus.
Are you applying on the 3-year rule or the 5-year rule?
5-year rule.
You're good.
Okay. Thank you. So I'll go ahead and find a way around the ticket.
Just Kenny, when you went back and were out of the country, did you ever work outside the United States during any of those trips?
No.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, we're good.
And I've always filed my taxes. I don't have anything, I'm not owing or anything like that. Let
us know, Kenny. We're excited.
Thank you so much.
Bye, buddy. Did he say I'm not whoring? I think he did. I think he said I'm not whoring. That is a question on the N400 is prostitution is questions, but Enrod says, hang up and go run to pay now, Kenny. I think that's right. All right, let's go to Nay. Hello, Nay.
Hey, Jim. First, thank you so much for having this show and for having me.
Sure.
I just have a very, maybe it's not serious or anything, but question about, so I received my NBC notice along with someone else's NBC notice.
Oh.
And so it was right behind mine when I opened the mail. And so I'm like, what do? I don't want to trash it. But I'm like, do I send it to the NBC? Do I like? I don't know exactly what I should do.
So let's say it's you and me, Nay, that you're Nay, and you get a letter with Nay and Nay's full name, Nay's mailing address, and then underneath it is
Hmm.
is a letter to James Hacking, and it's at my and it has my address or your address.
Your address.
Why don't you just drop it in the mail to that person?
Okay. I was thinking that, but then I thought it was just if USCIS would prefer to just send it back to them and they would do that. I'm just trying to figure out what the best.
Well, here's what I would say. It would be a mitzvah if you could do that for the other person in the mail. A nice thing to do. If you rely on NBC, they'll probably never know what to do with what you just sent, and it's going to be a much bigger help to that person if you send it to them directly.
With my information and everything on that.
No. Well, are they in two different documents?
Yeah, two different documents. But I'm saying when I send it, I guess it would just come from me. I don't know. That it feels like that's a little.
I would just write their address and name on it and send it without any return address.
Oh, okay. Okay. Perfect. I would do that.
You got it in the physical mail, right?
Yeah, physical mail.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
Okay.
Are the case numbers similar? Is there any way you can figure out why they included his with yours or their with yours?
Yeah, I think probably from the same embassy embassy, and our names start with the N, so
Yeah.
I don't know if that made a difference, but
Probably. I would just do that.
okay, so just send it to them directly. Okay. I would do that. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nay. See ya.
All right, see ya.
Well, Robert said just put USCIS as the return address. Well, it'd be NBC, but yeah, you could do that too. But that might be called mail fraud. I wouldn't want to put a government address on an envelope that I'm mailing. Probably wouldn't do that. Craig says I would send that express mail with a signature. That's really going above and beyond, old Craig. All right, let's go to Sai. Hello, Sai.
Hi, Jim. This is Sai here. So my case is kind of a little complex.
Okay.
Because I've been here for 12 years now. Legally.
12 years?
Yeah, legally maintaining my status.
Okay.
I came in through F1 visa in 2013 December. Completed my masters in 2015. But while that, I bought a car and I was kind of speeding, and I went into. I was way like around like 15 miles per hour. So the officer charged with summary offenses like um, the traffic summary offenses like reckless driving, and also I was so scared that I did not stop at the time, and it an officer charged an eluding police officer, and that was a felony.
Sai,
Yeah.
can we start over? I got kicked off the internet for a minute. So all I heard is you've been here for 12 years and then you came on an
Yeah.
That's all I heard.
Yeah. So I came here on F1 visa in 2013 December.
Okay.
And May 2015 I got graduated. But within that period, I in March 2015 I was charged with a multiple summary traffic offense with one fleeing and eluding an officer.
Okay.
For going over a 15 miles per hour on a speed.
Okay.
And that charge was dismissed through an ARD for fleeing and eluding an officer, but I had to plead guilty for the summary offenses like reckless driving and passing over, like 15 miles per hour extra speed like that.
So those are all convictions for immigration purposes, right?
ARD, I am not sure. ARD is a disposition from in.
Yeah, those are all convictions for USCIS purposes. Okay.
So and later in that year, I actually gave someone money, and they tried to abuse me with this charge, and they wanted to deport me. So they actually falsely accused me with a terroristic threat. But I went with an attorney, and like followed up on that, like multiple rounds of court hearings and all. Later, these people, whoever the charge, they never showed up to the court. So the DA actually dismissed the charge. It was an M1, but since it went through a lot of court hearings and all, postponements, I was charged with 2 counts of disorderly conduct, which was graded as a summary offense, non-violent, and it was also dismissed. So these ones never came up, but later I worked and I was through the H1. I maintained my OPT, then STEM OPT for 3 years, then H1. It's been 6 years, and my I-140 is also approved. Now I'm into extension with my 140 for next another 3 years since I have a full-time job. And now my employer got RFE for like asking for a 2016 charge and an explanation of it, like a disposition of it. And I have a hearing tomorrow. It's not a hearing. I have the biometric appointment tomorrow, and also I need to reply for this RFE.
Okay, so what's the question?
So like how is my case is looking like about the RFE? Like how am I like? I'm really worried at this point because I've been maintaining my status throughout, and also this is kind of and I checked with one of my attorney in between the charge with an immigration attorney. They said it is not a CMIT, and this since ARD was a disposition directly, it does, even though it is dismissed, it is not considered. And now that there it was while it was dismissed, and it was expunged automatically. I am trying to retrieve the records from the court, and they don't have any record of mine. Only the traffic charges are in place, that too with a limited access to it. So I try to provide my ID and get the disposition and all the details just now, a hour back. So I'm going to send out all these details to the with the RFE to USCIS, and also I was planning.
What exactly was the RFE requesting?
They are asking only one. What happened in 2000? We found some headers information about the beneficiary, that is myself, from 2016 arrest.
So USCIS sent a letter to your employer on the pending I-140 asking about your 2016 arrest.
No, my I-140 is also approved. It's after that extension. The 7 years I'm on H1B now. So it is an extension after I-140 approved.
So I gotcha. So in other words, the Biden people approved the I-140.
That's right, yeah.
And you filed an H-1B extension because the employer had started the green card process for you to get you beyond your 6 years. And the Trump people sent you a request for evidence on the H-1B renewal about your criminal charge from 2016.
That's right, yeah. It's an RFE right now.
And what's the question for me?
So, how does this affect my case at this point? What are my options right now? Because I've been maintaining my status legally and not into trouble. These things happened initially because of the traffic. It got aggravated because of the 15 miles per hour extra, and I was panicked and I didn't stop for till the next. I skipped one exit basically on a highway, and I stopped in the next exit. So that's all. That's where this all charge went in.
So the cop turns on his lights, you go how many?
It was less than 5 minutes.
But you're going for 5 minutes with a cop with their lights. You go for 5 minutes.
Yes, I skipped one exit. There was an exit. I didn't take it actually. I moved to the next exit and I stopped.
I don't know that I really like that answer. I don't know that I skipped one exit. I don't know if that helps or hurts. 5 minutes seems like a long time to me.
Mm.
But in answer to your question, you have a lawyer, right?
Yes, I hired an attorney and he gave me a letter saying that it is CMI. It's not CMIT and none of these cases would affect. But I wanted to take your suggestion as well because I've been following up your.
Well, that's almost impossible. I mean, I tell people all the time the trickiest thing for me to do is look at someone's criminal records and say, how's that going to impact, their ability to stay here? But is the 2016 the traffic thing?
2015, and both have registered in 2015, but they got resolved in 2016.
But but everything's traffic, right?
One is traffic, the first one. The second one was it was a terroristic threat. It was a misdemeanor. It's related to the
So
money.
is USCIS asking about the terroristic threat, or are they asking about the traffic?
They're asking about the terroristic threat.
Okay, so tell me about that, because we didn't really talk about that.
Yeah, so the person who I gave money to, they already know that I have a charge like this, and they took the advantage of it and wanted me to deport from the country. They just didn't want to pay the money there.
You
That's
mean
what.
you lent someone money, and instead of paying you back, they called ICE and said that you were threatening them?
Yes, that's what happened there.
Do you have the police report?
Yes, I do have,
What
and
is
it was,
what is
and
did the police report believe you or the other person?
actually, first initially the police registered the complaint, but they didn't come. They came to me to arrest. Hearing my version of the story, they never arrested me.
Did you have proof that you lent this person money?
Yes, I had that all details. So
And
the
so
20.
and so you're saying that case got dragged out, the person didn't show, and then you ended up pleading guilty to 2 counts of disorderly conduct?
It's a summary offense. Yes, that's right.
That's the whole problem. I mean, I'm not a criminal defense attorney in the state in which you practice. I'm not a criminal law expert. So I'm going to defer to whatever your attorney says. Whatever your attorney says.
My turn. So, criminal wise, it was all traffic, and my this other offense was summary offense level, and I paid only $300 fine towards it, and the cases were
I guess
dismissed.
what I'm going to say is that the one thing that we've been seeing more of lately is, hey, getting an immigration benefit in the United States is a privilege, not a right.
Yes,
So
that's right. Yeah.
I could see them saying, hey, we know that this is your long history. This is all the things that we're seeing. We could give you an H1B extension, but we don't feel like it.
Yeah.
And then I think that's where you're going to have trouble, I think. So again, I would be thinking about not only replying to that request for evidence with whatever criminal court disposition, police stuff they're asking for, but also proof that you're a good person. So how are you going to prove that to them?
I think like I've been maintaining my legal status without any drama.
That doesn't count.
And
I
also,
I would actually say that's not true. You have had drama.
yeah. So initially when I came and the traffic thing that kicked off, and someone took advantage of that.
No.
And
what I'm saying is right now in 2025, what are you doing to help your fellow man or your fellow woman? What are you doing that would let them think?
I do a lot of community service. I help people. I do whatever. I get paid very good. I'm into like IT stuff, and I'm in a good pay. I have around like.
Then none of that matters to me. What I'm talking about is what are things that you do that help other people?
I am supporting someone's education, like to get with the schooling and all the stuff.
Who's that?
There's a institute, like a foundation. So I always take care of like 2 people every year for the complete educations.
Okay. Well, I would say whatever proof you have, you volunteer at church or temple or wherever, I would submit all that stuff too and say, hey, look, I know I had these problems back then, but you probably need a lawyer. You need your lawyer to walk through why not only is this not a CIMT, but also why they should exercise their discretion and still give you an H1B extension. They don't have to.
Yeah.
I got to go.
Sure.
Thanks.
Sure. Thank you.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for today's show. Now, listen, if you want to get on our text line and know when we're going live next, 314-470-3300. Text the word show to 314-470-3300. Alejandro, I'm sorry. We're having all kinds of internet problems here. I don't know what in the hell is going on. This place is falling down, breaking down. We're going to do a show tomorrow. What time, Huli? I don't know what time. Let me see the calendar. Tomorrow is the 7th. No, we're not going to do it at 4. We'll do it at 3. Tomorrow will be at 3. 4 is too damn late. Tomorrow we'll be doing a show at 3 tomorrow, I think. I hope you guys all have a good night. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the show. We appreciate all of your patience as we deal with internet problems. And we'll see you guys tomorrow for another exciting episode of the Immigration Answers Show. Yes, Robert likes those spicy night shows. Bye, guys. I'm great about that, other than trying to help people who are in a state of disease.